Alright, welcome everybody. So today we're going to be doing just some chill nothing really. Probably do a little Lost Sectors, Legend, that is. But I didn't want first couple minutes of this to be just random Lost Sector nonsense without anything to talk about. So first things first, I'm going to be talking about a couple things that's going to be happening with my stream. You all have noticed I am going to be streaming quite a bit more often than usual, just because I don't have any plan for anything else really right now. So I will be doing a podcast, however. Podcast will be streaming on Spotify. Anybody can listen to it, anybody who wants to, that is. It'll be about Destiny, video games, just all the above. It's not going to be catered to one specific thing that I know of. It'll be random spurts of knowledge that I have. So if you guys do want to check that out, I will be posting that in the description of the YouTube video. For now though, I'm going to be just chilling out really. This will probably be around half an hour of just goofing off, just showing some skill in the game. Nothing too crazy. I'll also be showing off a couple of my builds that I run with, just so people know whenever I run a build, what am I going to be using for it. This is a big thing for everybody who knows how to build in Destiny. Builds are usually going to be your saving grace. Builds can include anything between exotics, any weapons, mods, armor pieces, just depends. Mainly builds, when you hear them, will be exotics on exotics. So like Sunshot with Sunbracers right now. I do this strictly because Sunbracers are really good for ad clear. Sunshot is also really good for ad clear. So if you're looking for probably the best ad clear in Destiny history as a Warlock, it'll be this. I was showing my sorry, I was thinking about something real quick. I will be showing in the future of this video my build, what I use for it, and if anybody is interested on copying the build, I would highly recommend so. You don't have to copy the fragments. The fragments are basically just personalized. I have mine set up for triple 100 builds. I used a website called D2 Armor Picker for that. I would highly recommend using that when talking about triple 100 builds. If you're wondering how I got the armor to do it, it's pretty easy. I would not suggest doing Master Lost Sectors, or not Lost Sectors, my bad. I would highly suggest not doing Master Dungeons, or Master Raids. If you want to do Master Raids and Dungeons, then that's up to you. It'll come down to what your personality is, what you're personally wanting to use for it, so it's up to you. For me, I had way too many engrams in the war table, basically all the ones in the helm. I had way too many engrams for, so I was just like, let's just get rid of them and like let's make the builds. So I did that, and it actually went pretty well. I got pretty good with all my builds. There are a couple builds that I have neglected strictly because of how often I use them. I'd say if you're going for triple 100 builds, don't overstack on armor, because there's a high chance that you will get a specific armor piece exotic that will be completely different in ranking in stats than your other ones. So I would say don't focus on getting as many armor pieces as you can. I'd say focus on getting the armor pieces for the exotics you will use. For me, I've focused on Apotheus Veil and Sunbracers for Warlock for my first two, especially on Solar. I do not plan on making one for Lunafaction boots, strictly because Lunafaction boots haven't been relevant in a while. Lunafactions are still really good, don't get me wrong. I don't use them personally, just because Phoenix Protocol is probably the best in terms of super use as a Warlock. So, again, it's all whatever you think works best. I wouldn't hold anybody accountable if they decided to use something different, but I wouldn't. So, let's get down to business here. I'm going to start on a couple topics, really, with this. I'm gonna do a couple topics on something I talked about on my podcast about ad clear. I'm just gonna give you like a little rough estimate of what I talked about there, since it was a half-hour long thing in Destiny 2. When it comes to being in a raid or anything, you know, anybody can learn mechanics, but unless you know how to take care of ads, then your team is just gonna be absolutely, you know, terrible, really. You know, it just comes down to, hey, I don't want to suck, so I'm gonna be the best ad clear you can. You know, that's really the best way to put it. Don't go off and say, you know what, my ad clear is good enough. I want to do this, and then argue with somebody about doing a mechanic that, you know, they want to do as well. Just knock it off. Just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm not going to be like that. I'll be ad clear. Just place me down somewhere. I don't want to be useful. You know, but try to be reasonable when it comes down to ad clear, especially in a raid. Raids are probably the most annoying when it comes to people. If someone says that they are doing something, let them do it. Don't force something on another person just because you want to do it too. You joined them, usually, and you know, there's obviously exceptions to this. You know, what if you joined and you said, hey, I'd like to be this because it's what you're most comfortable with. Usually, if you're in a good team, they'll say, oh, yeah, sure, no problem, we didn't have that part picked out yet. And then that's that, you know, end of conversation. A lot of people, however, who don't do that, they are like, you know what, I'm gonna be this kind of person. I'm gonna start it when no one else is ready. I'm going to make everybody suffer at my will because I decided to be funny today. You're not funny. It's not okay, and those guys are there to get something done. They are achievement hunting. You need to let them get their achievement. So it'll all come down to that, really. Just hey, I'm doing this, I want to be able to do this, this, and this. Am I allowed to do that? Will you let me do that? How's this gonna work? You know, so it'll come down to that, really. Don't discourage other people for wanting to do a specific thing. Don't make an issue with somebody for not wanting to do a specific thing. You know, just let them do what they're doing. And if you can't take up the slack, then ask someone else if they can pick up the slack. If they can't, then, you know, you're just not going to be a good team. I'd say leave then. And if you're the leader, I'd say go ahead and just kick the person. I mean, as much as everybody hates, you know, booting, boot when you begin something. You know, don't boot at the end. Booting at the end is, you know, the major jerk move. You know, you don't want to be a jerk. Don't get someone's hopes up. Oh yes, we're about to complete it, and then have them kicked. That's not okay. You know, like, I've been in multiple raids where I've been kicked because I got into an argument with the guy who's the leader, or someone who's friends with the leader, and they're like, hey, real quick, you know, right before the final damage. And then while I'm doing the most damage, they are like, you know, go ahead. And then they kicked me. Luckily, I haven't been in a team where they've been dumb enough to, or sorry, my bad, smart enough to kick me at the right time. They usually kick me when I get like after the encounter is done. So when you get the loot and it already spawns, and then you get to put into your postmaster, so it's like, okay, you just kicked me for no reason. You know, like, luckily I've gotten all those, but, you know, it's grounds for ban if you do that to somebody. You know, I would never do that to anybody. It's cruel. It's cruel and unusual punishment for someone to do that, you know. Unless the guy really deserved it. Like, I've known people who really deserve it. You know, just don't be like that, you know. Don't be petty either. Just don't. It's not worth it. You know, it's never worth it to do that to somebody, especially if they've worked really hard on something like that. You know, like, what if someone had like 100 clears of a raid, you know? They wanted to get to 101 because 101 is Zoe 101, and you wanted to be like, ooh. And that person was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep kicking them from the raid because I don't want them to get this achievement. Yeah, that's pretty jerky, you know. That's grounds for ban as well. You know, that's pretty torturous for somebody, especially for someone who is really just having a bad day. You know, like, I've been in a situation where I've had a bad day and, you know, the anger's gotten to me. But when it comes down to it, you really just gotta say, you know what, I'm not gonna let this get to me. You know, and that's all ad clear really is. I'm not gonna let it get to me, so I'm gonna do this. Or, you know, I'm not gonna let the guy, you know, I'm not gonna get mad at the guy for wanting to, you know, take it easy today. You know, so I'm not gonna get upset at him for wanting to do ad clear. You know, it'll all work out the way it's supposed to in a raid. And if it doesn't, then, you know, that's when you decide, okay, let's fix this. But don't just go ahead and, like, basically ground somebody from completing an activity just because you didn't like them, you know? That's not fun. That's not fair. So, it'll all depend on, you know, how people will react and what you think will be appropriate in a raid slash dungeon. But dungeons are one of those things where you basically can be all ad clear except for one person, because I've solo flawless a lot and I know that it can happen to where you can be totally garbage with multiple people and then absolutely amazing with one person, like with one other person. You know, it's just depends on, you know, how you feel that day, how you want your situation to go, you know. Now, it's not a bad thing. It's not, you know, the worst thing in the world to be like, you know what, I want to do this. It's not. You know, you're not a bad guy for wanting to, you know, do something that you feel comfortable with. So if you are an ad clear person, you know, you're the guy who's like, I want to be ad cleared, you know, just take into consideration that they are looking for someone who knows what they're doing. So try to be the best ad clear you can. And if they're looking for someone who knows what they're doing mechanic wise, please just take the time either to learn it prior or just to explain that I don't know what I'm doing, I'd like to learn. And then that way you can learn from someone in there, or you know, they can teach you what they know so you can adjust on it. It's stuff like that. It all, you know, it all come down to that, really. Just what do I feel like that day? What do I want to do that day? And you know, that's the importance of ad clear, really, is how can I do better? How can I be better for the team? Because when you are ad clear, you're just supporting. So that's basically it. You know, I spoke more about this, you know, especially in detail with like builds on how to be better at ad clear on my podcast. So go ahead and check that out at ArcGen Gaming on Spotify. Check out the episode, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for that. I don't have much else to say for this stream. I was kind of just playing in the background to just explain I have a Spotify podcast that's coming out soon, so check it out. I'm also going to be streaming more. I'll be streaming, trying to stream every day. If I miss a day, then I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not really going to be that guy where, oh, if I miss a day, I'm screwed. You know, I'm not doing this for, you know, any specific reason. I'll probably, you know, if I decide to make money off of this, I'll, you know, do what I can. And, you know, who knows? So thank you to the one viewer who has been watching this whole time. Bot or not, you are always there, so thank you. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll see you in the next episode. We'll be just having a chill little session on, you know, just random things in the game. You know, I'll probably be talking about more things that I'm going to be doing on my podcast in the future, and that will be probably happening very soon, so stay tuned for that, and I will see everybody later on. So thank you for watching.